That'll be permanent. He says, وَمَا لَكُمْ. Listen to these ayat. وَمَا لَكُمْ. What is wrong with you? كيف يقول هذا الكلام للمسلم? How is Allah saying this to a Muslim? What is wrong with you? لا تؤمنون بالله. You don't believe in Allah. وَالرَّسُولِ. And you don't believe in the messenger. وَالرَّسُولُ يَدْعُوكُمْ لِتُؤْمِنُوا بِرَبِّكُمْ actually. And the messenger in fact is calling you. He's inviting you. So you actually believe in your Rabb. You actually have faith in your master. Allah Azza wa Jal in these ayat is making a distinction that every Muslim should know and never forget. There is a kind of faith, iman, that I assume you have and you assume I have. But that is again me judging you and you judging me. But there is an iman inside of me, either it's there or it's not there. And the only one who knows if it's really there or not is Allah. And Allah is complaining, your tongue says iman. Everybody says salam to you, you say wa alaikumus salam. Why don't I see iman in you? The messenger is calling you to really have iman. لِتُؤْمِنُوا بِرَبِّكُمْ. In your master. Why don't I see the fruits of that faith? Where is that iman? Why is it so artificial in you? وَقَدْ أَخَذَ مِيثَاقَكُمْ. And He's already taken the agreement from you. I mean, He took an agreement from all of humanity, but He took an agreement above and beyond that from the Muslim. When every Muslim said, La ilaha illallah, it was an agreement. When every Muslim said, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, it was an agreement with Allah. How can you make that agreement and I don't see iman in you? I don't see that drive in you to change. What's wrong with you? There's something wrong with you. وَمَا لَكُمْ. These words are very scary. When Allah tells a Muslim what is wrong with you, it's pretty scary. You know? In kuntum mu'mineen, if in fact you are believers. Oh, what an ending of an ayah. What is wrong with you? You don't believe. The contract's already been taken, if you're believers. In other words, it seems at this point you have deteriorated to the point where even your iman is subject to question. Now I don't know if you're believers anymore or not. In kuntum mu'mineen. If in fact you're believers. هُوَ الَّذِي يُنَزِّلُ عَلَىٰ عَبْدِهِ آيَاتٍ بَيِّنَاتٍ. If somebody says, Allah said, I don't have iman. He said, how come I don't see iman in you? How will I get this iman? Allah answers the question in the next ayah. He said, He's the one who sends upon His slave, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, ayatin bayyinatin, clear, miraculous revelations, clear, miraculous signs. Quran, He sends upon His slave these ayat that make iman clear, that clear the clutter in your heart, that open you up. And what does He say that for? لِيُخْرِجَكُم مِّنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ. So He can bring you out of darknesses into light. These ayat are also very scary. You know why? وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَأَوْلِيَاؤُهُمُ الطَّاغُوتُ يُخْرِجُونَهُم مِّنَ النُّورِ إِلَى الظُّلُمَاتِ. Al-kalam fil kuffar. Who's in the darkness? Kafir. And then Allah brings the kafir into light and he becomes a Muslim. In these ayat Allah says, so He can bring you out of darkness into light. You here is Muslims. So the Muslims are in darkness. In the ayat of Surah Al-Baqarah, the kafir was in darkness. In the ayat of Surah Al-Hadid, the Muslim is in darkness. He's in shades of darkness. The darkness of a Muslim is hypocrisy, nifaq. Du'ful iman, weakness of iman. Allah says, I sent ayat not only to get non-Muslims to become Muslim, but for Muslims to become mu'min. For weak Muslims to become real mu'min. That's why I gave you these ayat. لِيُخْرِجَكُم مِّنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ بِكُمْ لَرَؤُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. And Allah, in your case, has always been compassionate. He's always caring. The show of His care and compassion is this Qur'an. Somebody says, I have weak iman. You must have a weak relationship with the Qur'an to have weak iman. Allah gave us this kalam so it can keep our iman fresh. Keep our iman strong. The most valuable treasure we have is iman in our hearts. I mean, if we have iman in our hearts, then everything else can go and we're okay. And if we don't have iman in our hearts, you can have everything in your hand and nothing is okay. We're going to go in front of Allah bankrupt. The clothes will not be with us. The money will not be with us. The children won't be with us. The savings won't be with us. The house won't be with us. The car won't be with us. The only thing that we'll be able to show Allah that is worth anything, He says, إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. The exception is only the one who comes to Allah with a healthy heart. A heart that's got iman inside it. Bring me that. Don't give me anything else. There's nothing else that's worth anything. And then he says in these ayat, the Qur'an, these ayat, they are there so you can have iman. Because I care about you. Because I know how rusty iman can get. That's why I gave you this book. And then I give you a necessary exercise every single day in which you can go back to this book and clean your heart again, and again, and again, and again. Salat. Salat was supposed to be a mechanism by which our heart is cleansed. وَمَا لَكُمْ? What's wrong with you? أَلَّا تُنْفِقُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ? You don't spend in Allah's path. وَلِلَّهِ مِيرَاثُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. And Allah owns the inheritance of the skies and the earth. Mirath, inheritance. Previously he mentioned mulk, kingdom. Now he mentions inheritance. When does somebody get inheritance, folks? You tell me. When someone dies. And the conversation of mirath comes up when someone is old. You don't talk about mirath of a 5-year-old. You don't talk about the inheritance of a 20-year-old. But when does the conversation about mirath come up mostly? 90-year-old, 100-year-old. We should think about the will. You understand? When someone is close to death, one of the conversations that come up is what? Mirath. Allah says Allah is the owner of the inheritance of the skies and the earth. What is Allah saying? The skies and the earth are close to death. The last messenger has come. The final book has come. The only major event left now is Judgment Day. This is time to bring up inheritance. And the only one who will inherit this entire universe is Allah. You'll be left, because someone dies, somebody else takes ownership. Someone else dies, someone else takes ownership. When everything dies, who will take ownership? SubhanAllah. وَلِلَّهِ مِيرَاثُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ لَا يَسْتَوِي مِنْكُمْ. Young people in the audience, listen to this. لَا يَسْتَوِي مِنْكُمْ مَنْ أَنْفَقَ مِنْ قَبْلِ الْفَتْحِ وَقَاتَلْ. Those of you that spent, anybody who spent before victory came and fought before victory came is not equal. They're not all equal. Equal to who? Those who fought after. Those who came after. Those who struggle for Islam, those who live up to the requirements of their own faith and then become flag bearers of Islam in their time, even though all around them is kufr, Allah says those are special people. They are not equal to those who worked for Islam and lived Islam when times were convenient. I like these people. They lived in fitna and fought it. They're not equal to those who lived in convenient time. When Islam was victorious, everybody around you was Muslim. The adhan could be heard from your house. You didn't know what haram was because it wasn't available anywhere. You never had to check the ingredients on the side of a food item. It was not there. You didn't know what beer was. You didn't know that existed. You didn't know what a concert was. These fitna didn't exist. Everything was good, and people say, "Man, I got to go somewhere where there's no fitna." And Allah says, people who stayed through the fitna and still spent before victory came, min qabl al-fath, and fought before victory came. Those are special. أُولَٰئِكَ أَعْظَمُ دَرَجَةً. Those people have a higher rank. مِنَ الَّذِينَ أَنْفَقُوا مِنْ بَعْدُ وَقَاتَلُوا. Higher ranked than those who fought after, those who spent after. وَكُلًّا وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الْحُسْنَى. And for everybody Allah has promised the very, very best. He has promised everyone the very best. But in the ayah Allah did indicate that He has a special place for Muslims who live in difficult times and then spend. And when I say spend, I don't mean just money. I mean time. I mean priority. I mean weekends. I mean weeknights. I mean early mornings. Okay, I understand you're at work. I got it. I know you got a couple of hours of commute. How do you spend your commute? How do you spend your night? How late are you up? What time you wake up? What do you do in your mornings? What are you spending your time with? The biggest asset I have is our time. How are you spending your time? Allah is not just asking for your money. He says infaq. He didn't say infaqul mal. This could be infaqul waqt, infaqul shabab, infaqul istita'a, infaqul qudra. Spending your capabilities, spending your youth. You have to spend if you want to be ranked before Allah.